is stupid. The cutscene.
What?
The story.
No!
Okay,
No! The music!
Betwixt the ruby seas, deep in the eye of the storm, a bastion of beef and hope lies nestled in the sand. 4 men almost lost to the deep now find tranquility within its walls. And now they're inviting you in for a tale unlike anything you've ever heard before.
Hey, you guys ever
swallow cold water at her. Okay, sorry.
Hey, you guys ever climb Mount Everest?
No, but I've
Never
climbed Mount
did.
Andrew.
If your mother's name was Mount Everest, we could talk.
Hey,
So I saw on Twitter this week. Let's open it up with Twitter. Hi.
Let's open it up with Twitter.
What's
So
the
I
worst
saw-
website in the world doing this week?
So I saw this tweet and it was like, I saw this dude, and in his Tinder bio it said that he climbed Mount Everest twice and reached the peak once, and even he was still on Tinder. How can anybody hope to get a date if the guy that climbed Mount Everest isn't interesting enough or something? Which it was just a dumb white girl.
White girl
When you get
moment
zero
number
pussy,
5.
you climb the biggest mountain in the world.
Maybe he was looking for pussy at the top of the mountain.
Where is it? Where is the pussy?
Either.
All those. No, he just really likes. He's like a necrophiliac or whatever. But like,
yeah.
they start
He's fucking
to
that
rot in
furry
normal
up there.
climates.
Yeah.
No,
Yo,
yeah, but
callback.
up there, it's like they're just a perfectly preserved dead pussy.
Shout out to episode 3.
Or butthole.
He gets to the peak and he's just like,
Where the pussy at?
where the pussy at? Yeah.
And when there's no pussy. And then he jumps off the side.
Yeah.
We keep thinking about it as it just being him up there by himself, but almost every picture nowadays, there's like a whole group. So there'd be a whole group of people who went to the top of
Yeah,
Mount
that
Everest.
shit
and
ain't
they're
even cool no more.
wow, look at how cool this is. And there's just one guy.
beautiful.
Where the pussy at?
Yeah.
I like to imagine every single
What's
one
wrong
of
with
them,
this
like
dude?
one after the other, does that.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like a crowd in like Roller Coaster Tycoon or whatever. They all get to the front and have the exact same reaction, and then turn
Yeah.
around.
Oh
and go
man.
You know that?
They
You
all
know that meme
solemnly
format?
walk back down.
You just have to hit a certain elevation, and there's like a guy up there that works for Tinder, and he's like, "All right,
All right,
you
you
can
win.
put that in your bio."
Yeah, you know that meme format where it's like
Big
the
win.
guy, it's like a digging meme. It's like the guy, he's like walking away with like his
Oh
pickaxe on
yeah,
his
and the
back.
diamonds
Oh,
are like
yeah.
right
Diamond's
there.
like he just had to hit it one more time. That's exactly what happened. He went up, but the guy at the end of the line decided to just go a little bit further, and he found the pussy.
And he found pussy. He's like, yes, I found it.
That's what happens if you jump off the edge. You go to heaven, you get your 10 virgins or whatever.
Hell yeah.
My favorite version of that meme is the thing that just says "keep gambling."
I've never seen that meme, but that meme sounds exactly like the shit you see on like Instagram, like inspiration man page that's run by like a dude from like a sweat house in Pakistan that just has like 40 Instagram accounts.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just a picture of a guy with a thing and he forgot, but you can see inside the wall there's diamonds, and it's just like real men keep swinging.
Yeah, real
Yeah.
men
It's
keep
like,
gambling.
Let's go.
Yeah. Real
Yeah.
men keep hunting for
What
pussy.
was that Joker one that we referenced ages ago? Where it's like 90% of boys be having a girlfriend, the other 10% be having a brain, and that the
Be
English
having
is
a
all-
brain, yeah.
Yeah, the English is all fucked up.
That was
It
like a
bit of the
beginning of
Joker from the
COVID
Dark
moment.
Knight. Yeah, that was honestly
Yeah.
facts though.
Yeah.
No, it
is
is facts. I guess
We've
I'm
had
the
a
only
list-
one
the
here
only
with a
one here with a
brain.
brain.
Yeah.
The statistics perfectly line up with like the ratio of like straight to gay men as well.
Right.
Yeah. Well, okay. We've been. People are like, man, what the hell was this tweet? So before we make any more jokes.
Okay.
So this tweet, it was that girl that said, you know, this guy had Mount Everest in his bio and he's still single. Like, what the hell? It was just a white girl tweet that got like 100,000 likes because she had a fucking boob in the
Classic
fucking,
white girl
She had
tweet.
one
There it
single
is.
boob.
Does
Yeah.
anyone like pizza?
Call back.
Here's one
Yo, this
boob.
guy ate pizza on Mount Everest watching The Office with a dog. What the hell?
Yeah.
He's currently drowning in pussy.
He said a funny Dwight quote on top of Mount Everest eating
Yeah.
pizza.
He shouted. Yeah.
He said
said,
Battlestar Galactica.
theft is not a joke, Jim.
Got him.
And all
Am
of
I
the
right?
pussies in the world became wet.
He made
Even
it
the
makes
dead
an
so
avalanche.
epic. He thawed out the dead frozen pussy with a Dwight quote. So then some lady responded, and she was like, I don't see how climbing a mountain has anything to do with being a good boyfriend. Sounds like he'd be away a lot and very particular about his food and exercise routine, which is also what which is already an AIDS response. But the kicker to me is this other guy who responded to her and said, climbing Everest is for bragging rights. It's crowded and polluted and has a real problem with over-tourism. It's for people that want to feel special, essentially for ego. No connection with being a good partner. And it's just like, bro.
That just sounds like Los Angeles, honestly.
Climbing Mount Everest is for bragging. Has a real problem.
Honestly. You know he's fat as shit.
Dude, he's
He
disgusting.
took like a massive hit of his inhaler before typing it.
Yeah.
He got like winded.
I would have done it already, but for the reasons
But
listed before.
I don't have time.
I don't want to contribute
COVID
to it.
medical condition.
even if everything he said was true, they climbed Mount Everest and you didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, they did it twice.
That doesn't make him a good boyfriend, but it also doesn't mean they're egotistical tourists that want bragging rights, bro. They 50% of the people that go above like a certain altitude are gonna die. And you're just tweeting on Twitter. It's not,
exactly.
It's just such a a guy who's never gone above 40 feet above sea level, just tweeting. Actually, woman.
Actually,
Climbing Mount Everest is for bragging rights, so don't
Let me
your
explain
pussy
why
get
this
too
is
wet.
cringe.
Shut up.
I just
What?
the guy with that in his Tinder profile, like he's just a guy. Like
didn't even say nothing.
he didn't want this. He just became
say
the
nothing.
focal point of a
This
big
dude's been
discussion of a bunch of
crucified for no reason.
for nothing.
Yeah.
He was just like, "Hey, I climbed Mount Everest. Isn't that kind of cool?" And a bunch of dipshits on Twitter were like, "I
Wait
have
a
sex
minute.
even though I didn't climb a mountain."
Yeah, this guy got Lester fucking praying on his downfall, and he didn't even do nothing. He just climbed Mount Everest and put it in his Tinder bio. That's fucked.
Yeah, I know. Maybe
Now he's a
like
fucking virgin. He's like, "Come on."
Yeah.
Has anybody considered that maybe the guy just isn't very good looking? Maybe that's just maybe if he was like just
Dude, especially on Tinder. Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
You could. But unless your bio includes "I'm rich," if you're ugly, it's an L.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's fuck that. But
Did you see the
What are you
She-Hulk
saying
thing?
about women?
do you see the what?
Did you see
The
the
what?
Tinder She-Hulk thing that's been making the rounds? I
No.
almost don't
I
want to
don't
talk
think I
about
have.
it because I kind of reckon they were banking
No,
on this.
I want to hear
but
it. What
fuck
is it?
Yeah,
Is
well,
it
yeah,
the
hit
show?
it.
Aren't they making
I'm gonna
a
bring it up.
She-Hulk show or no?
Nobody, yeah, it is. Nobody watched She-Hulk as a result of me talking about it, so that I don't feel guilty.
We
about
are
it.
not
Okay.
sponsored by She-Hulk.
No, She-Hulk's gonna suck. Marvel's going downhill, and everything to do with Hulk has always been boring. That's just like an
Yeah.
objective opinion. Hulk is the most
That's just-
I'd agree
boring,
with that.
singular. All his movies suck.
Yeah.
Continue.
But
I am
Hulk heads
currently
are gonna pop
Hitting
off
the
in the
Hulk.
comments right
I'm
now.
currently
They're gonna be
hitting
so
She-Hulk on
mad.
the top of Mount Everest. No, dude, the Hulk films are
Hulk
terrible.
well, there's only isn't there like two?
Wait a minute, he's a Chad like me.
Oh, no, but all the ones before, like,
He can climb
like
Mount
all the
Everest.
old, they're all bad.
Gets pussy.
Yeah, just a big mad guy. There's not much you can do with it.
Yeah, he's like a fun tool in the Avengers.
Yeah.
But
Solo is just like
part of
Courtney,
She-Hulk's
make me green when I do that.
part of She-Hulk's guerrilla marketing is they've got this thing where I used Tinder years and years ago. I can't remember how they actually like put ads on it, but I think from memory it was just like you'd swipe and then it would just pop up with an ad that you just had to like say fuck off.
in your area.
But I guess, but if you like swipe to that, well, that's the joke. That's literally it. You just print. It's not even so. Like usually, it's like, oh, fucking download I don't know, Monday.com to fucking get your life in order or whatever. It's just like ads for apps or
Ashley
whatever.
Madison.
But it's very clearly just like an ad. And then I guess what's different about this one is it literally has the chick from She-Hulk. Well, She-Hulk, I guess. And her name is She-Hulk, but it still has like her
Is she in
name.
green face, or is
and
it
her-
just like the
yeah,
actress?
and green face. So it's pretty clear, but it's still presented. It's still presented like a normal person
Hot,
on
sexy
Tinder
green
with like,
bitches in your area.
with like a bio and everything. And then apparently you can match with them if you're a fucking loser, and then they like send you a DM, which is just an ad to watch the show.
Oh
And
my
it's just so depressing because I saw people. I just saw some dude tweet that and be like, "I'm gonna die alone, man."
Yeah, why do we exist? just to suffer.
It was the
Yeah.
guy who
Just
climbed Mount
sexy.
Everest. He matched with her.
Some dude finally, because it's like 90-something% of guys don't get a response ever in their entire time on Tinder, because it's just like
Yeah.
it's just such a reverse market. There's like 4 girls and 8,000 guys. So, but like this, after 3 months, this guy finally gets a click back from what he thinks is an epic, beautiful cosplayer. And
Yeah.
Some
it's like
guy
the-
in a
it's like-
suit.
It's like when you get someone adds you on Snapchat and they're like, free pussy pics at fucking
Yeah,
Joe
yeah,
Biden.com.
it's literally
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
No, it really is, but it's
But
just
you
so
thought you
funny because
found
it's
love.
fucking. It's Marvel. Or you can just imagine some dude's
Yeah.
idly scrolling and he just hears the fucking match sound effect and it's like crack cocaine for his
His
brain.
fucking heart drops into his
Yeah,
stomach.
he
Yeah.
looks
So
over and it's-
happy, so nervous. He's sweating.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
doing light
Watch
skin
She-Hulk
face.
on Disney Plus. He's like,
Yeah, he's trying to think of how to respond. He's just like,
Alright. I say,
and he gets hit with the fucking free
Fucking-
tickets.
Drake. Fucking.
Here's what I got to be
I think that'll definitely lead to at least one suicide, and I wonder if they ever think about that when they make stuff like that. No, 'cause, like dead at like one person will kill themselves because of that.
I can't
Yeah,
I
handle it
climbed Mount
anymore.
Everest twice, and I'm still getting fucked.
I saw a study. Speaking of that premise, I was thinking about this. I saw a study the other day, which it was kind of like a lot of people are like it's kind of a BS study, but it was like a huge Twitter trend, and it was like antidepressants are 85% placebo. Like for 85% of people don't work. It's just all placebo. And SSRIs, like we found out that our brains don't like work like that. And it's like this huge new study, and it's like even if that is true, I wonder if publishing that study like makes it stop working for people because they're
Yeah.
aware of the placebo and then they blow their brains out. Because
Yeah,
Right.
someone's
there has to be
definitely
some
poured
kind
their
of
pills down the
ethical-
sink.
Yeah.
no, exactly.
Yeah.
And now they're gonna like suffer terribly from it. I feel like that
Yeah.
seems like just publishing that kind of information, even if it's true, like seems like an ethical like dilemma.
Well, now we're
Yeah.
doing it, so maybe we should make a disclaimer. Don't stop taking pills if you need to
Yeah,
take
don't
them.
stop taking them.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm on it. They work for me. I've been
Yeah.
doing significantly better since starting
Hell
antidepressants.
yeah.
Fuck yeah,
Glad to hear
baby.
it, brother. Yeah.
I'm on
Honestly,
Flintstones gummies.
I'm gonna wake
Honestly-
up tomorrow and be like, they don't work.
Fuck! James ruined me! Honestly, like, placebo is kind of like, if you think about it, a
Placebo's
method
epic.
of working, you know? Because, like, it's...
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
You know, your brain plays a bigger part than, like, a lot of people think. And, you know, because it's like... You know, like, for example, people with, like, hypochondria, right? Like, if your brain can trick you into getting sick... Then, like, I feel like it just makes sense. It could work in the opposite direction. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like,
Yeah, so like
100%.
why
even-
And then
pop
you-
a bunch of people's bubbles
Yeah,
like that?
exactly.
Like they
I'm
were
doing it if
happy.
it's working.
That's
Yeah,
exactly what I was
exactly.
thinking.
Yeah.
And I wonder
kind of
if they ever
a
thought before they
matrix.
published
Yeah.
that. It was definitely,
Yeah.
and it wasn't even like a scientific journal. It was just like somebody that wanted ad click through
BuzzFeed.
off Twitter. Yeah, no, literally. And I wonder if anyone on
promote
their
She-Hulk.
team thought about like I wonder if this is gonna get to someone and they're gonna stop taking their pills and they're gonna fucking shoot themselves in the head because we wanted
Yeah.
40 cents like from their clip. It's wild.
Worth it.
Jeremy, run the She-Hulk ad. We're on a roll.
Turn that shit up, Charles.
Speaking of funny means of marketing and I guess not marketing, but just like fucking online activity from big massive corporations. I saw this thing that made me laugh really hard. So the YouTube Twitter account, if you're on YouTube or if you follow YouTubers, as you know, they typically for YouTubers, if they're having an issue with the platform, they'll take to Twitter and then they'll
Yeah,
try to
they
get a
react more
response.
than like actually trying to do it on YouTube's website.
Yeah,
It seems like
exactly.
if you've got an
Yeah.
issue,
Yeah.
YouTube's website will be like, oh yes, I'm gonna look at this in 6 weeks. Fuck
Yeah,
you.
go
But
fuck
if you go,
yourself.
if you go on Twitter, and
Go
you're like,
watch She-Hulk.
it's Team YouTube. I'd hate to
climb
think how
Mount
many
Everest.
people must run that account because
Yeah.
they're constantly having to reply to fucking a million people a
100%.
day.
Well,
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
might
but,
prove
like-
that no one runs it.
Exactly. Thank you, James. So what happened was, for a long time, people just say like, "Oh, this is a bot. It's not real." Well, it's been proven because the YouTube Twitter account tweeted,
Who would win the funniest creator award? Who would the funniest creator award go to?
Which
like,
obviously, which first of all we can all agree is Dream.
Carl
yeah.
Jacobs.
"Yeah, of course, it's
Yeah,
Dream or
Dream.
Carl Jacobs in second place." And
Yeah,
just
we're
some
split
guy.
50-50 on Dream and Carl Jacobs. It's a long running thing between beef.
Yeah, comment down below and don't put a curveball like Corpse Husband. So just some fucking dude, some NPC, like just some fucking guy replied and was like, only me. Like this is just some guy, fucking Muhammad.
Why'd you give him that accent, Doplex?
Who I believe has 7 followers.
Yeah, he's literally just some guy. And YouTube hit him with update after review. We've determined that activity in your account violated. Like they're hitting him with like a fucking reply.
Which prohibits spam, scams, or deceptive content. Note that you're prohibited from from accessing, possessing, or creating any other YouTube accounts. More here. goo.gle.
No, yeah, it's literally. See now this is interesting because Doplex. I think you guys all viewed it differently than me because I thought that Muhammad commenting that pissed off like an intern that ran Team YouTube, and they found his YouTube channel through his Twitter and then deleted it out of like spite as a meme.
Yeah.
Like it was like their last day on the job and they just knew
Spiteful as hell.
But it was literally
can we
just
just
like
get
they picked a random response that they normally would and hit him with it, which means like if people submitting like really important issues could definitely be passed over by any human, and they just get like, hey, we're gonna fix this time. Hey, we're gonna terminate your account. Hey,
really quick, can we say it again?
To YouTube Red.
Yeah.
Can you say it again without the filter? Because the filter was very funny, but was impossible to hear what you were saying. Just for people who haven't caught up yet to what YouTube's message actually said.
It was just they're just hitting him with basically we terminated your account because you make scam content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is just some guy.
He didn't reply with a link.
Some
like,
dude.
He's not. It's a guy with 7 followers that was just like, funniest YouTuber.
Yeah, he was participating in their fucking stupid ass corny. Like, he's just participating.
He doesn't even have a YouTube channel linked on his Twitter account, from what I could find. Like it's not.
Yeah.
It's very clearly just someone fucking spazzing out.
They just hit him with the nuke. They're like, goodbye.
Is this tweet real?
Yeah, it is. So. Yeah, I saw the screenshot.
Why are there like buttons on it though?
Wait, what do you mean? Like,
there's thumbs up and button on it.
That's what it looks like sometimes.
Yeah, that's what it looks like now.
Yeah, sometimes they have those
dislikes on it. Yeah.
What the?
Have you not seen that before?
Oh, you haven't seen that? Yeah, it's weird.
No, it's really random what it's on.
Yeah,
it is very random.
That's
I got
weird.
early access to the downvote button.
I've
had that for a couple of months now.
I think the idea for it is like, and it probably only shows up on really big threads, but I think the idea is kind of Reddit style. You can like, if you like it, it gets pushed up, and if you dislike it, it gets pulled down. But I don't think
I have to downvote this one, bud.
Well, it's lovely in and of itself.
You know that shit doesn't work either. They're just gonna take whatever the fucking angriest, dumbest tweet is and put it at the top.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is he's replying to YouTube at YouTube, which is just like YouTube's like. It's not support, it's just promotional shit. And Team YouTube, which is their support account, found him without tagging them at all, found him in their replies, and then terminated his shit.
His non-existent YouTube account. That's so true. I didn't even notice that.
That's funny.
It's weird. They must have some kind of like back-end API where it like scrubs all, like they both like scrub each other's accounts or something. That's so weird.
That's actually I've never even thought about that. So maybe there's a guy with exactly his name on YouTube that runs scam accounts, and they just like thought they found him or something.
Shiraz.
We finally found it's just like a random intern. He's like, I finally found the man who fucking scammed my grandma. This guy told my grandma I was in the hospital with AIDS. And he sent her $5,000
and Google Play gift cards.
Those videos are epic.
Yeah, they are. Shout out.
Speaking of scam Google Play videos, is stealing tweets dog? I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
Honestly.
Kudos. Is stealing tweets dog? Please.
Here's a conundrum.
Sentence.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's I did it so that I wanted to obfuscate my purpose.
Okay.
Right.
Because if you put too much in the talking points, and people start like, it's not fresh when we talk, This was something that came the other week. I won't say who specifically stole a tweet, but it's a very common thing.
Drumsy.
To steal tweets. Yeah, Drumsy.
We're gonna kill him.
So I saw a tweet that was stolen the other day where someone specifically pointed out this tweet was stolen from me. And the weird thing is both of them are, I guess are content creators essentially. So it wasn't, not that this makes it better, but it wasn't like a content creator stealing it from some random. It was like literally plagiarizing from one funny person to another, which I guess is
well,
both
one funny
bad,
person
obviously.
to a less funny person.
Right.
Well, yeah. But and the funny thing is, I can talk about this because it happens so regularly that I doubt you'd even be able to find the example I'm talking about, because here's the sad reality. Outside of us four, so many of your favorite YouTubers probably steal tweets. Like a lot of really, really good guys I know who are nice people steal tweets. Most of the ones I'm very close with, I do not. They do not. They're all legit. Like Historian's really fucking funny. Samita, all the like great dudes. Do not steal tweets.
I've had big YouTubers steal my tweets before. Like big YouTubers.
But it's an interesting concept because on one hand, like, okay, you're stealing a tweet. It's got a very like who gives a shit on both sides sort of thing. Because on one hand, it's like, well, who gives a shit? It's a tweet. Like it's a tweet.
It's
If you we consistently make fun of people who care about Twitter a lot, because if you care about Twitter a lot, you are unwell.
You need psychiatric evaluation.
But on the flip side, I guess it's more like the integrity of comedy, and as a comedian, you know, like if you can't make your own tweets up, and the tweet in particular I'm talking about that was triggered this whole thing, it wasn't just like they took the concept and reworked it, or no, it was letter for letter, exact same grammar, punctuation, weird,
straight up copy and paste,
literal copy and paste.
Control
and one got
C,
100,000
Control V, tweet.
To be fair, I looked it up and that shit's been tweeted thousands of times and went viral hundreds of times. But I personally, if Doplex did it, I wouldn't like be like, bro, we can't be friends anymore. But when you're feeling someone out to see if you want to be friends, if you find out that they steal tweets, that's for me. I'm not saying that this is right or something. That's immediately an L. We're not friends.
No,
like,
I totally
would never
agree.
befriend someone that not even because it's like a morally. It's just like, bro, that is cringe, and just like. The person who's down to steal a tweet to get a couple 100,000 likes on Twitter or something is just like, I feel like that says so much more about like what kind of friend
it's like such a petty thing to do. It's like it's so unimportant. It's like, where is your integrity at?
It gets you nothing, and except like a personal like ego sucking. Like it doesn't. Well, going viral on Twitter means nothing anymore.
That reminds me of the. I forgot the second half of what I was trying to say earlier, which is so the first half of who gives a shit is. Well, who gives a shit? It's a tweet. Like, just let them take it. Who cares? The other half is it's just a tweet. Who gives a shit? Why would you steal it? Like, what do you need in your life that requires like copying someone or betraying someone in a sense? So I guess you can look at it in both ways, but I don't know.
What I've noticed,
it's like if you're gonna steal a tweet, what else are you gonna steal? Are you gonna steal like video ideas or like?
Well, I mean, I don't even think it goes in that far. I think it's more so like, because this is such a common thing where it's like you have these people who like build up these platforms just based off their own personality, because people tend to like cling on to them because, you know, like they find them funny, or they find like the things they talk about, you know, really important, or they just like what they have to say. In my opinion, it just speaks to their actual character and where they base their ideals from. Not to get too deep, but whenever I see that, it's just like, the way your brain works is like when you're a kid and you go to the store and you buy a Laffy Taffy for a nickel, right? You open that Laffy Taffy up, and what's written under the little flap is it's a joke. It's a funny little haha joke.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So you go to the playground with that joke that you fucking read on your piece of candy, and you tell it to people and they laugh. That isn't your intellectual property, but now they think you're the funny guy because you went and bought a piece of candy.
Yeah.
That is the way I see it, where it's like,
now going with the
your
piece of candy
ideals
being like, yo guys, look at this joke I found. Like, like, you know, that's okay.
Yeah,
but yeah, like,
exactly.
like, dude, yeah, like, motherfuckers. Like back when me and my friends would like go play basketball all the time, and we go to we go to Colonia Bagel, we get like a Snapple or some shit. Like 2 days later, like one of my friends, they got a Snapple. 2 days later would be like, hey, did you know the Hindenburg had fucking 4
Snapple fact, motherfucker, I know you had a Snapple.
Like, bro, you didn't learn that in fucking world history today. You stole that when we ate fucking lox and bagels the other morning.
I saw you squinting at the cab.
Dude, have you ever?
You taking notes.
I don't think this is the same thing because the
I was
human
wondering
brain,
why you
like,
asked my cap.
the human brain be internalizing and lying to itself just shit that is not true or isn't yours.
Right.
Like that does just happen.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
But have you ever had someone tell you your own story as if it was theirs? Because I had that happen once or twice, and it blew my mind.
Wait, really?
Someone started telling me my own story, and then I was like, "No, bro, that happened to me." And they were like, "Oh wait, no, yeah." And I was just like, "What the fuck?"
How does that even happen? Like, how does your brain process information that way?
I have no idea.
I don't know, but like. It just happens sometimes where you just end up embellishing something, and then that becomes the truth after a long period of time, and then that's how you remember it.
Sure, yeah.
I've definitely done that, not in where
wild.
I've been like, that happened to me, but where I'll be like, oh, someone told me this, I think, or like, I think I read this online, and then someone will be like, I told you that, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never
had that
something like
before.
that, yeah.
Yeah, but I've never
had
I've
anyone
never
straight
been
be
like,
yo, one time I went to Mexico and I like lived there for 2 years.
you
Wait
just
a
take
second.
heavy hits to the brain. Going back to the stolen tweets thing, I remember the proto version with that is there's this guy in high school. He was a nice enough dude, but like on his Facebook, he would post clearly stolen shit, and like it would get a lot of likes for the time. Like it wasn't like a Facebook page; it was just his personal one or whatever. And like as a guy who like
This
wanted to
minion
be
meme
a
is
funny
fire.
man, it would piss me off seeing this dude get like 100 likes on this shit that he clearly stole. And it got to the point that me and some of the guys would literally copy paste what he wrote into Google, find where he stole it from, and then post a screenshot of that in his comments.
That's the best thing. That's the best way to do it.
We need to do that more.
We do.
Yes.
This is a direct message to our listeners.
West.
If you see, this is my message. Inshallah, this is my message to the West. If you see a tweet popping off, pop that shit into fucking Twitter search and just take a
hit
screenshot
reply.
and reply with that.
Yeah.
I
There
feel
was
like that will generate more better intellectual property on the internet.
I was actually rewatching an older episode of the H3 podcast, and there was like a week where like Ethan was just doing that to Rice Gum every time he tweeted something like 3 or 4 years ago, because everything he tweeted was just that. Like it was like one of the ones was like, bitch, why'd you tell me it was 6:45 when you could have just said 5:75? And like Ethan just typed it into Twitter and found a tweet with like 400,000 likes and just screenshotted it and replied to him and ratioed the shit out of him, and it was just
I think I remember that actually. Yeah.
I think I remember that
as well.
too. Yeah, it's like the
but-
fucking you're telling me a shrimp fried this rice? It's like that kind of vibe. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
bro, get new jokes. What are you doing, man?
Bro.
Like it sucks because it's these people who aren't funny, who want to be funny, and they see the success that comes from being funny, but
How to be
they
funny
don't
on Twitter. WikiHow.
Yeah, no, literally that, but it's like instead of, like I post we all post shit, a lot of it flops, but sometimes it does really well, and that feeling of like I posted something that was funny and it did really well. Which is what pisses me off when I posted my most like tweet of all time wasn't even, I posted someone else's meme, but because I was like making a point, I was like talking about the meme. I was like, the point wasn't me sharing this meme. It was, I was like, oh, this format is blah, blah, blah. And that got like 200,000 likes, and I'm 90% sure it was literally people just saw the meme and were like, ha ha.
yeah, haha.
That's funny.
And I feel so dirty because it's like, I didn't make that. I wasn't funny. People just saw that. And it's pissing me off.
Dude, do you guys have any? Do you guys have any people from your high school currently that are like? Because we're all in content. We've spent years earning our stripes, like being. When you first start, you're cringe to everyone you know because you have no online presence. So it's just people trying to give you a chance, and it's like the most. You blow all your. You're out of high school and people are like, oh, this fucking nerd's doing YouTube. But now we're at a point where we all make really good shit, and like some people might not like us, some people might, but do you guys have anybody from your high school that like right now is just starting to like they want to start like an Instagram meme page and like they just steal a bunch of shit, or like people that like are trying to do like funny TikTok or like Instagram reels, and like you're watching them, and it's like we've just done all this work and we've gotten to this point, and I just see these motherfuckers like that just want to zoom in and out and tell a story that I know is not true and is so stupid, like on their Instagram story, and it's just like
It's probably your story.
That's the most visceral. That's the most visceral cringe to me. Like watching someone from my old high school, like not try and be. Because I have one kid he's huge on TikTok and he's a magician, and I'm so happy for him because he's been practicing magic for like 10 years. He's epic. But then there's just motherfuckers that be like telling stolen jokes on their Instagram and zooming in and out and doing like funny
He fucked me
white girl.
with a toothbrush.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh my God. Like, how are you starting this in 2022? Like, where did you get who gave you the false confidence to start a meme page in 2022?
It's even sadder for like me and Dopes because we're like in our late 20s, like fuck it. So when I see people who are starting that shit at age 28, you totally can. I'm not saying, but it's like when you're trying to be this like hip young, like, what up, fellow? What up, Gen Z?
What up, fam?
Here's my TikTok page. Yeah.
Here's me doing some weird fucking dance, even though I have 2 kids and a wife.
Speaking of having 2 kids and a wife, there's this new game called Forspoken that's coming out.
Big spoken.
I think one of the devs of that has 2 kids and a wife, probably, maybe, who knows? But they put out a really bad trailer, and I think we want to watch it.
Let's watch it.
Let's
watch it.
So let me get this straight. I'm somewhere that's not what I would call Earth. I'm seeing freaking dragons. Oh yeah, I'm talking to a cuff.
Yo!
Oh, come on.
Yeah, okay, that is something I do now.
That is
I do
something she
magic,
does now.
Kill jacked up beasts. I'll probably fly next.
This is straight up like fucking weird, like quirky Marvel dialogue.
No, yeah, it literally is.
Yeah, it's literally okay. That just happened.
Whoa.
Dialogue. That's all it is.
That just happened.
Freaking dragon.
I am currently
Hitting the dragon
Dude.
for Ukraine.
I like how she says... I like how when she says,
scared.
okay, yeah, this is something I do now. It's an in-game shot. It's not even like pre-rendered of the main character getting fucking axed in the back of the head, and she fucking like collapses.
Yeah,
but it's a shame because like it does look like a fun game. Like it looks like. I mean, it seems like it could be like a game I would have played on like the 360 or something.
A PlayStation, a middle-of-the-line PlayStation RPG.
Yeah,
like, not
it's
crazy,
fine.
but I'd play it.
Yeah,
but
I hate that. I hate that. I don't even know I don't even know how you would classify that. But like a lot of games do that now, like with this weird style of marketing.
No, but it's not
like,
successful, right?
Right, it's not.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But maybe it is.
But that's okay. Well, that's the question I want to know, because I think it's just really cringy old people. Or like older skewed millennials, like not you guys, but maybe like 38, 39 type beat that like for some reason that's humor to them. But like, do you think that to the general public that's an acceptable form of humor? Because I really don't. Even with Marvel and all, I do not.
See, I think it is. After our discussion last week about Diablo Immortal, I feel like the general public cannot be trusted with anything. And so as we said about like. And look, I like Marvel movies. They're just fun, stupid popcorn flicks. I don't think much about them, but they're fun. Yeah. But as we've proven, like, people do take to that sort of shit. You see these things in the movies, and people laugh when these things happen on screen. And like, sometimes they are funny, but a lot of the time they are cringy. So I'm sure, despite the Twitter world thinking this is the fucking cringiest shit in the world, because it is, I'm sure the general public would be like, she owned him.
She's epic. She talks like I do.
I'm talking about the target audience for this because my dad might not my dad. My dad's got I don't know. My family all has a good sense of humor. My fucking uncle might laugh at that or some shit. My uncle, long lost uncle might laugh at that. Just some old person. But like, and honestly, I don't think Marvel humor is as bad as that. Like, oh my god, freaking dragon. Like, dude, I'm funny. I laugh at some of the jokes in a Marvel movie. Half of them are throwaway. It's just they wrote them in because they needed to fill a fucking, a beat. Yeah. But like some of them are kind of fun. That is like,
there's pretty bad.
That's not even TikTok humor. Like I feel like even people on TikTok are like, I'm way funnier than that.
Yeah.
And then they just like hit the gritty and do the fucking
TikTok,
frog girl voice.
I just realized that she sounds like the TikTok AI voice.
Yo, she does.
It's like exactly the same.
I am currently hitting a freaking dragon.
I mean, depending on the publisher, they probably do have some fucking like proprietary AI that they use for trailers, so they don't have to pay VO people or some shit. It totally could be.
To what Doplex said about how you wouldn't describe the dialogue, I saw someone tweet something a while ago and I very much agreed with it. I'm getting very tired of. The best way to describe it is that too.
Why'd you have to do it like that, man?
It was a big gap.
I've completely lost track of what I was
You're
going to say.
getting
Hang
very
on.
tired of what?
Hang on.
What are you getting tired of?
Let me bring it back
you
in.
agreed with it.
Yeah. Getting very tired. The only way, like, I guess that we can describe it is Marvel dialogue. It just very, like, modern sounding, like, okay, this is crazy dialogue in fantasy settings.
Yeah.
It's like they've seen Marvel do well, and they're like, well, that dialogue will work in any setting. It's like, no, it works for Marvel because, like, it's a modern setting for the most part. It's like it's built into the culture of, I guess I can kind of see someone saying some shit like that. No one says I'm fighting freaking dragons.
Can I actually
They go, here, fell beast, I'm going to kill you.
You don't say freaking dragons in a place. You don't say freaking dragons in a place that you probably wouldn't call Earth.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, it's just also just an awful line as well. Like, what a I'm gonna fucking throw a span in the works. I'm gonna back myself into a corner here. I think the problem is Americans. Because American humor is very, very funny, absolutely. But there's a specific type of it. Meanwhile, say to Andrew's point about like you cannot do that in fantasy. I've been absolutely fucking obsessed with RuneScape these last couple of weeks because of my video, but I just genuinely have liked it as a game as well. And that is a fantasy themed game set in like medieval, kind of grounded-ish medieval England. It's not set in England, but you know. And there's a lot of dialogue in that almost like at times breaks the fourth wall, but because it's got this very like irreverent British kind of twang to it, it works. And like the characters will have back and forth dialogues where you're like, I wouldn't expect someone in medieval times to talk like that. Like it is, you know, it's very much this old quirky game, but it fits. And I feel like maybe that's the difference between like British humor and American humor is that
I guess that's kind of like a Monty Python-esque way of doing it.
Like
but I feel like Americans have done
it's
something
also
like
the time
that.
it was written though. Like you're playing old school RuneScape. That is something like, and even if it isn't old, but it probably is like old dialogue. It's something that's like coming from the roots of a game that's like in a community that's like 15 or 20 years old. Like that's before everything went same-ish and just wanted to like copy like Disney Plus Marvel moment. Like
I think that's the main
you could find an American game, you know, that fucking you know did that 15 years ago.
Yeah. Fucking, you play any of the Sly Coopers, Jack and Daxters, you know, they all got that kind of
one,
Yeah, they all got that kind of like, you know, like crazy shit's happening, but I'm saying damn, you know, it's like it's trying to like
damn.
The weird thing now is like it very much feels like a group of suits trying to figure out what Zoomers find funny, and in their mind, you know, because if you think about it, back in like 10 years ago, right? 10 years ago, people were trying to figure out what millennials found funny. And even back then, none of it was funny because it was a lot of like,
millennials like Gangnam Style, and they like LMFAO and What the Fox Says, and
it's just like
man buns, hipsters, avocado toast, and Starbucks. But it's like
GTA
none of
5.
that is based in reality.
I was about to say GTA 5.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That is the kind of the double-edged sword of the internet. The internet the internet and machine learning are actively trying to point at whatever will cast the widest net and just do a decent enough job where you're like, oh, all right. And just the easiest and cheapest and whatever. And it's made everything. You have all these tools and yet everything is same-ish because it's why fucking Marvel movies are the only thing that break even at a box anymore. Because it's just
they got a
appeal
formula
to
and they stick with it.
Cast the widest net, don't take any risks, and hit the formula that your fucking AI spit out for you, and you're gonna, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because when you think of old sitcoms, it's like, every sitcom, like classic sitcom, was filmed in New York or by people that were writing and filming and shit in New York or maybe Chicago, like barely even LA. And yet it was appealing to the entire country because it wasn't like, they weren't like, what can we do that will make Gen X New Yorkers from 1994 laugh? Because there wasn't like targeted like demographic like that. It was just like what joke can I write that's funny to me?
Yeah,
and then hopefully it's resonant with other people.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest disconnect is we've kind of lost it. We've lost a lot of culture along the way in terms of like writing and even marketing goes. And like I feel like now we're just like you said, James, at a point where everything is just same-ish. And like I look at that fucking advertisement that you just showed to me, and like you could literally slap any other logo on there and I would believe it. You could slap a fucking like Kmart logo and be like, yep, that's an ad for Kmart.
That's Kmart's new toy line.
I'm in a place that I wouldn't call Earth.
I'm in a Kmart fighting freaking dragons.
Employees.
And I'm talking to
a cuff.
No, not a cuff, just cuff.
Oh yeah,
with a
cuff.
capital C.
It's just some dude named Cuff.
Yeah.
Hi,
Speaking of
welcome to
cuff,
Kmart.
do cavemen fuck with queefing?
Do cavemen fuck with queefing?
Do that? Okay,
you put this in talking.
So this has been a talking points for like 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
It's near and dear to you.
I'm very curious to hear where you were going with this.
I think it's an interesting problem. I've kind of lost the magic with it. I feel like I had more to say, but so
More on the vast topic of caveman queefing.
The TED Talk of caveman queefing.
So I was editing something for TMG and they were talking about how like I accidentally like pulled out too far and fucking went back in and a bunch of air was in there and my girl queefed and like and it was like, you know, we laughed because farts sound funny and we're like intimate partners, you know.
Yes.
You know, if you're queefing on a stranger's dick, that might not be it's probably awkward and you're just like, what do I do now? But so what I'm thinking is like 50 million years ago when the Neanderthals were fucking in caves to avoid Tyrannosaurus Rex and they barely have language, they don't know what comedy is. You know, there's no hot chip and funny. It's just,
they're not laughing at like,
there's no Forspoken trailers back then.
Can I try and guess what your point is? I want to see if I can guess it because I don't know why you said Tyrannosaurus Rex.
With queefing?
Yeah.
What?
You said Tyrannosaurus Rex and it made me. I just butchered that word. Tyrannosaurus Rex.
My favorite dinosaur is a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
They're just like humping it out, just like clapping cheeks, trying to be quiet because you know they're being stalked, and then like the queef gets them killed. It's just like, and then the T-Rex is like.
That's not where I'm going at all.
That's funny. I think James that are just asking, do they like queefing?
No, but yeah, like it was an unspoken rule of the caveman era. You cannot queef on this dick, or we will be eaten.
We will be eaten.
It's quiet place. It's quiet place. The before times, and you just can't queef on the dick. But no, but I was just thinking, like,
no queefing.
If you don't
queefs and gets killed.
If you don't have language, if you don't have comedy, if you probably don't have like as intimate of a because we're not talking Homo sapiens, we're talking Neanderthals.
Homosexuals.
So, like, no, well, we already know if you fart on the dick, you die. We found that.
We found that.
It's deadly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But 1,000. It's one of the 1,000 ways that you can die.
Right.
But. So I'm thinking, without that, you don't have comedy. You have like 4 IQ. You're not intimate. You don't really have language. And you're having sex, the only thing you can really do at that time, you just want to squirt and have a baby. If you're a caveman and a bitch be queefing on your dick, are you like A, wow, I'm epic. 2, she's fucking farting on my penis. What the fuck? 3. Who cares? 4, I'm gonna beat up this woman for shitting on me. Like, what's their reaction? Because you know, if your girls are queefing on you, you're just like, whatever.
Queefing. Yeah, actually, I think in talking about this, I think I've realized out of all of the infinite fetishes I've seen online, I don't think I've ever seen someone post queefing as like, please post queef videos here.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I need to hear it.
Yeah.
There's that guy who does it on Twitch. But my thinking is, you know, I've always been a proponent that for all of our technology and all of our fucking dumb shit we surround ourselves with to convince ourselves we're advanced, we're still just the same fucking idiot chimps we've been for hundreds of years. We just have a Madden Ultimate to waste $550 on.
Right.
So otherwise, we're pretty much one and the same. So I feel like, you go back far enough. I can't imagine what's occurred since then that would make my brain change from thinking queefs are funny. So I feel like if you were a little caveman monkey man, if that would happen, there's some instinctual shit in us that everyone finds like farts funny, like no matter what.
Yeah.
What part of the world you're from, what age you are, it's like universal, and I feel like that's because it's this deep-seated, like proto. So I feel like that the reaction now is probably the reaction you'd have back then. Like I don't see what's changed since then.
I disagree.
I also disagree.
Well, I'm leaving.
I think. I think that
He's gone.
I think that's a totally valid point. And to an extent, like you go back 10,000 years, maybe, yeah, farts are still funny. Comedy is specifically a societal reaction because you are reacting to something that someone else is saying or doing for the sake of upholding a relationship or some sort of like societal like tension or norm. That before, like, it's why animals don't really have humor. Like maybe monkeys do. Like, but you see videos of monkeys like pogging at a magic trick. You don't know if they're just like banana, but like, but you go back.
Monkey stepping into a Home Depot. It's a monkey stepping into a Home Depot.
What is that sound?
When I hit the gritty, it's just me stepping into the Home Depot.
That's stepping into the Home Depot.
No, but so I see comedy as a societal function. So I don't know if you're just one-on-one Neanderthal motherfuckers in a cave, you never even seen another human like motherfucker, and you fucking and she queefing. There's no natural, like, comedy. Laughing is not your natural response to really anything at that point.
Yeah, there's nothing to cling to actually make it. It's like how kids. Sorry, Andrew. 1 sec. It's like how kids find cursing funny because they know they can't do it. So like, if the kid says like fuck and like everybody's laughing because it's a kid saying fuck, like that is funny to them.
Fuck.
Yeah, because they know it's funny. It's like the same exact thing with like farts and queefing because it like you said, it's like a weird societal thing.
Yeah,
that
it's
I feel
part
like
of consciousness. We don't understand any of that shit. It's very analogous, but it's it's just
it's something you got to have like a preconceived not notion, but like you gotta there's a context behind it inside of our chimp brain.
It's evolutionary.
There's layers to it. Exactly.
But 50 million years ago, I don't know if we hit the queef is funny evolutionary step.
Yeah, I don't think we did. It was just a noise.
Yeah, I'm probably going with it's just like you ignore it. It's just like I am fucking. This is annoying. I mean, there's no way any of that shit like that. I think about this more often than I probably should. But like you be having sex and it's like if you both just showered, it's like it's epic. Like you smell good. It's fucking time. Yeah. They didn't be doing that back then, so like none of it was very epic. It was more just instinctual, so I don't think the noise would have done anything. It's just like that's what happened. Unga bunga.
But I still think sex was definitely epic back then, because like if you don't have the layer of like, oh, I can be clean and smell good, then dirty sex is just sex, which means sex is still epic because sex is epic.
Right.
Yeah. I guess that's true.
Our brain's hardwired to want to do it no matter what, so I don't think it really gives a shit.
But I just like to imagine that like the caveman be thinking he's getting farted on and he just like punches the woman in the face.
Just gets really angry.
Yeah. But I also like the idea of they're avoiding the fuck queef so that the raptors
T-Rex
don't get them.
That's probably my favorite thing to think about is just like queefing is like, accidentally going in the middle of a forest.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing that in the middle of a forest, we have questions.
We do have questions.
In the middle of a forest.
Courtney, take us to the
if a beef
question
fan
table.
asks a question in the middle of the forest, do we answer it?
Do we know? Our first question comes from Sir Boris. They ask,
hello, Boris.
I don't know.
Hi, Boris.
Do you guys say Hideo Kojima or Hideo Kojima? I've always said it both ways.
I call him Hideo.
Okay.
Did you say Hideo?
Hideo.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Hideo.
I say Hideo.
Hideo.
I say Hideous Kojima.
Just because it rolls into the K, not because it's right.
Yeah, right.
I say Hideo X Kojima.
I say Hideo the Gritty.
MySpace name. I am currently
Hideoing
the Kojima. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Anyway, Sir Boris asks, if Hideo Kojima approached you to pitch him a video game idea, what would you say to him?
You fell off.
I've never fucking played
mama.
one of his games.
You've never played Metal Gear Solid?
Yeah,
What the fuck?
Yeah, you fell off.
wild.
I played Metal Gear Solid 5 for an hour and I was like, I don't like this, and I stopped playing it.
That's the incorrect answer.
Wait, didn't he make Death Stranding?
Yeah, he made Death Stranding.
I haven't played
All
that
of
either.
our
Death
audience
Stranding?
just had the little like exclamation point
Yeah,
go off above their
crucify this
head
man in
when
the comments.
Kudos said
Yeah.
Nah, not really.
like
Well, kudos. You have an opportunity with one of the biggest producers of video game producers of all time. What's your idea? Like he's gonna make it, or
Fire it up.
you have to convince him. But
Yeah.
Oh shit, I don't know.
what's your best idea? I would
VR
pitch him
pod
Fall
racing.
Guys, but Among Us.
Yo.
Yeah, actually, quick aside, that reminds me, do you remember that very, very brief stint about 2 weeks where Fall Guys was the king game
And
of
then
like
Among Us
22? And then
Yeah,
and like
Among
their
Us ate
Twitter
it.
was like literal
Yeah.
fucking S tier.
Yeah.
Like
Heaven.
every tweet they did was like really funny and it got like 200,000 likes. And then fucking
Yeah.
Among Us said they were the imposter and voted them out. And like
It was
literally.
truly more sus than
Dude, I feel like it was even worse because the characters look really similar, and it's like
Yeah.
we only have one spot for small little squishy
Bean
man in our
games.
heart.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it's
It's
right
not
now
enough
it's Among
room
Us.
in this town
It's just
for the
like
two
Fall
of
Guys is
us.
still doing good. It's crazy. They literally got
It's
like
making
fucking
a comeback.
It is.
Yeah, no, it is, which is cool. But they literally got
I
like
like Fall
fucking
Guys.
Mario jumping
Yeah,
off
Fall Guys is
Yoshi
epic.
to get to the end of the level. Like they were
Right.
they
Yeah,
were
no.
doing good, and then they got fucking dunked, and then Among Us
Yeah.
went like supersonic.
It seemed like they were about to like unilaterally take Fortnite off its 5-year pedestal,
Yeah.
and then they literally disappeared.
Yeah.
They just went.
Which is honestly, it's kind of unfortunate because Fall Guys. Okay, you look at Among Us, right? And you look
I
at
prefer Fall Guys
side
to
by
Among
side.
Us. I thought it was fun.
Fall Guys, same. Fall Guys is just arguably a better
I like
game
both.
than Among Us. I also like both, but I think
Here's
Among
our
Us
TED
is,
talk
is
on Fallout Guys versus Among Us
Among
in
Us is a
2022.
tool.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
tool for you to make the game
Exactly.
epic. That's what
Yeah.
I feel like, at least. That's
Among
why
Us
I
is
love
like
it.
it's a glorified like chat room with like little mini games, which makes it fun. You know,
Yeah, literally.
because you know
Yeah.
you can play with your buds. But
I'm
Fall
hyped
Guys
for
is
VR
an
Among Us,
actu-
TBA.
Oh,
Me
me
too.
too, 100%.
It's gonna be so
But
funny.
Fall Guys is arguably just a really good game that I think should have had its moment in the sun before Among Us came and ate
I mean, it did.
Anyway.
but it was just very
It
short.
did. It's yeah,
Stumble
and it is
Guys
making a
is the
comeback,
true
which is
king.
epic. Stumble Guys pay $10 to punch children. Anyway, so kudos. What would you tell Mr. Kojima?
But like, I feel like this also requires knowledge of him, because if I gave him an idea, he'd then like take it and like
Right.
put his spin on it, and I don't know what the fuck that would
Yeah.
involve. So I
Okay,
feel-
that's fair.
There's a very different question to like, what if you could just snap a game into existence that you've always wanted to play? What would it be? Because it would
Yeah.
then add in
Yeah.
100 characters that don't talk like real humans, and I don't know what's going on, and the UI is really confusing, and I don't like it. That's what would happen.
I'm fighting freaking dragons.
Does look good though. His games visually are very beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
I'm in a place that I wouldn't quite call Silent Hill.
Yeah, that's what I'd give him. I'd give him Forspoken, and I'd say make this with the same dialogue, but
Yeah,
no, make this
yeah.
but with your dialogue, so it's somehow
With your
even more
dialogue.
autistic.
Yeah.
Fucking bug! Stop!
Kill
Go
it.
away!
Kill the
I would,
bug.
yeah, I would just pick him another Silent Hill game because he hasn't made one of those in like fucking 20 years, and they were cool.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Did he ever make it?
He got fucked
No.
over by Konami because PT
yeah,
was
he-
supposed to be
Yeah, he
the
was meant
next
to.
one.
It was,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't make Silent Hill. He just got the rights to it and was making the newest one.
and
But
then,
then-
Konami was
okay.
Yeah,
like,
but
"What
then
if we fuck
Yeah.
you over
What
and
if
then
we
make a
just
bunch of pachinko
fired
machines
you?"
instead?" Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so stupid.
I would
Konami's
I would
a shitty
pitch
company.
Red Dead Redemption 2 World, but Death Stranding.
Oh.
I'd play that.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't play enough Hideo Kojima games to like. I don't know what the fuck I'd.
Yeah,
pitch him.
I don't know what's good about
Yeah.
them.
I don't
So
either.
I couldn't tell you what I'd like. But
Yeah.
Doblix clearly does. So what do you want to make?
I'm a big Metal Gear Solid fan. I grew up playing them.
Make another one.
Yeah, I would literally tell him, finish Metal Gear
Make
Solid
wood
5,
shift
and then make
liquid.
Metal Gear Solid 6, and then also remake Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Okay, thank you. And maybe Sons of Liberty 2 if you're in the mood for it. Okay, thank you. I love you. Mwah.
Do you want?
That's
do you
what I
want?
tell him.
I have like every Metal Gear Solid game, and all my friends liked them when I was in like elementary school, and I tried to play them so many times, and then I tried to play 5, and because everyone loved it, and like it was really fun and funny and cool. But also, bro, literally just the controller mapping is the sole reason I've never liked or had any fun playing those games. Yeah. Like, I don't, bro, the trigger to shoot and the trigger to aim and the button to jump is just like, why would you fucking change that?
I totally agree, because like as a kid playing Metal Gear Solid, I was very confused by the control scheme, but it's because it's like in like Japanese style. It's like how Japanese people actually
their brain
have their
interpret buttons differently.
Yeah, I honestly maybe because
I guess if they're games.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can, bro.
No, you can, bro.
This was been like a month or two ago. Me and Jared were hanging out outside.
Japan.
We were smoking a little bit.
We were
kissing. I had a bit of a high thought.
It's legal where he is.
Yeah,
I think learning different languages, like outside of the language families, should be like more important, because legitimately, just the difference between growing up speaking like English or German or Spanish and stuff like that, and like Japanese or Chinese, it's like a whole different way of processing information.
Yeah.
Like Japanese read
100%.
from right to left and like up to like to down. So like,
but
the naturally
the
patterns in their brain like completely switch up, because like in film in America, if you want to show like subtly progress happening, you have people move left to right. With Japan, it's the complete opposite. It's like a whole different way of processing information.
When I make thumbnails or just any graphic in general, we read from top left to bottom right. So you want your information to be presented in a way that your eye is going to naturally start at the top left and work down. Versus if you want to do the same thing in Japan, I'm sure if you looked at a lot of their thumbnails, they would you'd go from top right to bottom left, because that would just the information would flow nicer that way.
Yeah. I don't even think just that though. I don't even think just that. Like, I think just in like learning the neural pathways that are formed from learning it and ingesting information that way, what probably specializes their brain in a different way than what English does. Not even in a we read this way, so I'm gonna look this. Like, they might be better at mental math because actually reading from right to left stimulates a different part of your brain, or something more like ambiguous that isn't related.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I think
not
if you
saying
like
that Asians are the best at mental math or whatever the fuck is someone's fucking typing right now. You can stop typing, delete it.
As we already know, Filipinos are the most powerful race, so they've already got that.
Yeah. That is swag fact number 103 or whatever that thing.
Can I wait real quick? Can I just say what I didn't like about fucking MGS5? Just why I stopped playing.
Yeah.
Really quick. It was three things. First of all, the box sucked. Now it's 4. Now the box is cool actually. So 3 things. First of all, the story is I know the meme is the story is fucking nonsense, but I cannot get over that. Like, I'm fine with some abstraction, but when I start the game and it's like you've got a guy on fire breaking into a hospital and a floating baby with a fucking gas mask, I'm like,
I love
all right,
bro, it made no sense.
Fuck me then.
I love it so much.
But then it contrasts heavily into this like weirdly realistic depiction of like 1980s, 70s fucking Afghanistan with like really realistic geopolitics. It's like, what the fuck is happening? So that was the first thing. I was like, okay, I can't get into the story. Number 2, it did that shit where if you do a mission and you don't do it perfectly, it grades you poorly. So it's like, what if I just wanted to run in and fucking blast everyone because the shooting's fun? It's like, oh, well, you didn't do it with perfect stealth, so fuck you got a Z minus. I'm like, okay, cool. So I can't play the way I want to play. Which usually the way I want to play is stealthy, but what if I just don't want to? And then finally,
grading video games are stupid. Fuck Sonic.
Agreed.
Grading you on how you play the mission is dumb.
No, I agree. Metal Gear Solid 5, as far as I know, is the only one to do it like that, because the other games are obviously linear. Metal Gear Solid 5, they just did it in like a weird mission-based thing.
It makes more sense on a linear game, though. Grading how you play a game on a sandbox is the most counterintuitive dumb shit.
Because you give me all these fun tools and then you tell me off for using them. That's why I didn't like Dishonored as well.
Yeah.
But honestly, once you ignore that, it makes the game a lot funner, because it realistically doesn't really do much. I don't know.
That doesn't change anything, but I'm a goody two shoes. I want to get the good marks.
Exactly. It's like killing this. killing this guy in New Vegas isn't gonna make me a bad person in real life, but I still can't do it. I don't want him to die.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
So I also don't want to get an F, even though it doesn't matter. Like, I just don't want to get an F.
And real quick, the last thing I didn't like is just the UI was a bit confusing in that, like, say the guns you could like unlock and upgrade and everything. It'd be like, oh, here's the UMP 5866, and that's so much, but it's completely different to the UMP 5844. And I'm like, just call them like, give them funny names.
Gun one.
My brain.
It's
when it's like a bunch of letters and numbers, and like I'm sure those are real guns, but my brain doesn't register that. Like I come from games like, wow, call it like the Blastenheimer, and I'll be like, cool, I really want that gun.
Be like, I love the Blastenheimer.
Yeah, the Blastenheimer's epic. I will say one thing. I think part of that problem is jumping. So like me, I love Metal Gear Solid. Again, I'll say that again. Fantastic games. If you play 1, 2,
say it
and
one
3,
more time.
I love Metal Gear Solid. I'll say it again. Fantastic games. If you play 1, 2, and 3, then it makes sense once. I mean, 4 kinda. Four big guys. Kinda. But Metal Gear Solid 5, it kind of goes back to the old style with like a lot of like new mechanics, which can throw people off if that's your first one. But I promise you, if you play through 2 and 3, 5 will make so much more sense. They're not the way Metal Gear Solid games are made. They're not made for like people to kind of just. Yeah, they're not made for people. They're usually made for like monkeys.
They don't have
dogs.
good jumping in points. They're like you're supposed to.
They do and they don't. It's weird. It's like It's very hard to explain without sitting here and talking about it for a very long time because the stories are very convoluted and it's very hard to get into. James,
I think like we said, no, Andrew King.
Andrew,
like we said, language.
Right.
You know, learning a language is learning a language as a little kid is a lot easier than learning a language as an adult. Just the way your brain is, you didn't form all those pathways yet. I honestly think specifically, not even just like Asian games or like Hideo Kojima is a language in and of itself. How he makes games, and if you didn't play it from childhood, you're not gonna like it. I don't know anyone who gets into it now. It's not like, oh man, I missed out on Borderlands. Or Andrew, I missed out on Fallout New Vegas. I'm 25 and I'm playing it for the first time and it's epic. No, I don't know a human being that gets into MGS at 20 years old.
Or how many people got into like Zelda Breath of the Wild who never played any of the other ones? It's sort of like you can there's a lot of games.
I hate all the other Zelda games, but Breath of the Wild, epic.
I like all of them.
I also like.
I think we've triggered like multiple different video game fan bases throughout this whole.
I think so.
We're getting so many comments right now.
Yeah, we're gonna. It's gonna be a whole war.
Andrew, did you want to say something?
I was gonna say I kind of believe Doplex about playing all of them, and the story of number 5 will make sense because I've seen other people say that. But Doplex, the thing you have going against you here is that you also like Kingdom Hearts. And Kingdom Hearts' story
Kingdom Hearts sucks.
Nonsense.
I can agree with that though.
Bullshit.
I can agree with that, but here's the thing, right? let me just. Okay, I know we're kind of going a little over, but I want to defend Kingdom Hearts for just a second. All right,
it's bad.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Kingdom Hearts
sucks.
Hold on. Kingdom Hearts is more of a feeling, right? You know, so
it's a vibe.
You're growing up, right? You know, you're a scene kid. You like shit that really like touches at your heartstrings. Even as a child, I remember like being a child on the fucking school playground, and my buddy Steven was like,
"Hey, have you heard of Kingdom Hearts? Here, I brought my copy if you'd like to borrow it."
That weekend changed my life because I felt like I was playing.
I was
playing a video game that was based off like my dreams. It's like it'd be really cool to have like a little boy, his really cool hair, and he has a sword, and like, but it's all like really fun, and it's about love and friendship.
Sex with Mickey Mouse.
I have sex with Mickey Mouse, and Donald he deep throats me with his beak.
I'm with Dopix. I never actually had a PlayStation, but I watched literally every cutscene from those games because I fuck with the vibe. And despite saying that MGS's story is fucking bullshit because it is, I think because Kingdom Hearts then like it's like a bell curve, you know, like MGS is in the uncanny valley where you have nonsense but then also hyper realistic 1980s Cold War geopolitics. Right. And then Kingdom Hearts is like fuck you, it's Disney, kill yourself. And I almost feel like that then,
bitch.
Yeah, that almost takes it back up to like okay, this is so stupid. I'm on board again.
I'm probably one of the biggest Disney simps I'm definitely the biggest Disney simp of this group, and especially as a child, and regardless Kingdom Hearts are some of the worst video games ever fucking
I hate
made,
them.
and no one will ever change my opinion.
I hate them so much.
That is your opinion. They are some of the greatest games ever made.
Have you played Metal Gear Solid 5?
Yeah, no, I have. It's pretty fun.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Why do you say Kingdom Hearts is the worst game?
The gameplay sucks.
It's stupid.
The gameplay
What about
sucks.
the gameplay sucks?
It's so boring. It's a fucking button masher, dumb piece of shit game. All the characters in it aren't utilized well, and it's all the most boring Disney characters. Like, no one cares about Goofy. It's not 1965 anymore. Give me fucking Aladdin. I don't care about Goofy.
Aladdin isn't game.
He isn't.
The fucking aesthetic is so ugly. Everything's just black. It's just like, hey, anything that's bad, it's just gonna be black goo. Oh no. It fucking the music is stupid. The cutscenes.
What?
The story.
No! The music. Come on, don't do Utada Hikaru like that. Come on, she is a legend, bro.
The music slaps.
The music slaps so hard. Okay, hold on.
I don't know why there's an anime kid interfacing. Bro,
hold on. Let me interject.
It should have been a 400-pound disgusting privileged little white kid, not an anime otherworldly motherfucking corpse husband. Like,
listen. Here's the thing. Okay.
Not some beautiful veiny fucking 8-year-old.
Let me defend. I want to defend these points really quick, and then we'll move on. The gameplay. It starts off very button mashy because it's meant to be slow, but as you progress, everything works on like this AP system. So like all you have is just like a you just smack them with your key. But as you progress through the game, you get to like do more combos. You get to like fucking
spinning attack.
Yeah, you get to parry. You know,
if they hit you, then I do a double jump slam.
You press circle, you fucking recover, and it's like the gameplay progressively gets faster and faster as you progress through the game. With that being said,
I know every game like that from that era had the exact same progression system.
Right, but here's the thing. Back then, Square Enix was doing fucking Final Fantasy turn-based garbage, all right? And Final Fantasy sucks ass. I'm sorry, it does, except for 7. It's just
14
that to
well.
me. 14's okay. I know you like that one, so I won't go too hard on that one. I haven't played it personally. But Final Fantasy is like, to me, I couldn't ever get into Final Fantasy because it was like, I really like
Fanbase that's going to be yelling in the comments.
Well, here's the thing. I personally do not like turn-based games.
Square Enix makes bad games.
I don't like turn-based games because to me it's boring. It turns my mind off. I'm not a fan. So when they dropped Kingdom Hearts and I could actually press a button to attack, I was like, oh, sick! I can get into anime games, and that was epic to me. But again,
Noplex, did you like Kingdom Hearts 3?
I never beat it. It's very much. Okay, here's the thing. When I first got it, I couldn't get into it, but then I went back and I replayed it, and I was like, okay, this is kind of epic.
Okay, see, I don't know. I think you might just love Kingdom Hearts too much for me to trust.
Yeah.
Even Courtney
don't disregard his opinion. Kingdom Hearts is good for him.
No. I'm not disregarding his opinion.
Nostalgic for it.
I'm not disregarding his opinion. I'm saying Kingdom Hearts 3 for a lot of, because Courtney loves Kingdom Hearts. She's like obsessed with it, and she hates that game.
Yeah.
So all I was saying is
the arbiter of truth.
Yeah, James, Courtney. Why are you switching sides on me, you bastard?
Yeah, get his ass. Get his ass.
Put a 3-minute video of yourself rebutting all points here right now.
No.
Defeat us. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts it's definitely not for everybody. I will say the story is entirely convoluted, and if you don't like convoluted stories, probably not for you. But for me,
the art style's stupid, and it's ugly, and the music's bad, and it's really boring.
It's just your standard Square Enix.
I think visually it looks good. It still holds up at least. Like it's the colors are fun. The character models are pretty cool, and the music. Like, even though I haven't really fucked with a lot of Final Fantasy games, well, pretty much any of them except for like 7 and 14. The music's always consistently very good. Like that's those games. Well, I had that when I loaded up 14 again the other day. I haven't played it in a wee while just because I've been living life, and it's crazy how much the music in that immediately just fucking. It's like I only started playing that game last year, but it's so good it made me feel like I was playing a game from when I was like 10. I was like, whoa, the nostalgia.
That's kind of how I've been with New Vegas. It feels nostalgic even though I've never played it.
Yeah,
I've been having so much fun with that shit.
That's a good ass game that can do that.
That's how you know. Facts. You guys know that game where it's like Mickey but painting for the Wii?
Oh yeah,
Full Gas.
Epic. Is it? Is it just called Epic
rap
Mickey? Is that what
battles,
it's
I
called?
think. Yeah.
Epic Mickey battles of history. I'm pretty sure it's called
it is
Epic
called
Mickey.
it is called
Which
Epic
is so
Mickey.
funny.
Well, it's
Epic
like it's
Mickey.
like Mickey, but you paint, and that's how like you interface with the enemy and shit, and like
Yeah.
So that has to me, that art style looks similar to Final Fantasy, at least in like some way, in like the color palettes they use and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd rather play that and just paint and fight little goo balls instead of play stupid fucking Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, leave him alone.
He's already dead.
You're making Dovix cry, and I don't have enough energy to keep up with this conversation.
Okay, Zvax asks, you're presented with a button. If you press it, you become an actual
I'll push
furry.
it. No, I'll just push it. Shut up.
Come on.
Next question.
No, Zvax, it says you're presented with a button. If you press it, you become an actual furry animal person, but your dick and balls get huge. Would you press the button?
Oh.
Now, boys,
No.
would you let me, I thought of a really great joke that I want to say.
All right, hit it. I want to laugh.
My dick and balls are already huge.
Yo.
Hey, yo, cuz, what's this?
I read that question. I read that question. I was like, what? Like, literally all of us are just going to say, oh, big penis already. Move on. Like, it's just,
Sorry.
it's such an easy out. It's like,
Yeah.
But also,
Ask a better
unironically,
I
question.
wouldn't want to be a furry. My dick is a normal size, and I don't want to be a furry, so I'm good. I would not press.
Yeah,
the
but you can
button.
just
Yeah,
take
I
the
would
first
not.
suit
No,
off.
no
and
one
have
wants
a
like a
massive
huge.
penis.
Unless you've got like an acorn dick, like as long as your dick's of reasonable size,
Right.
you're
Yeah.
all good. Like girls don't want like a giant dick because you can only go in so far. So it's like
Yeah, and your
Right.
balls get huge. Like huge implies like you
Hey.
fucking
that like painful.
South
Big
Park
balls would be kinda
like
funny.
microwave South Park balls.
I guess it really depends on
Big balls
like
kinda
what
funny.
caliber,
Accurate.
like what.
Yeah.
It really depends on like, because currently, I mean,
Hitting
I
the
have
gritty.
a girlfriend, but I am currently hitting the gritty. But I'm fat, and my dick is normal size. But if becoming this epic furry man with a huge dick and balls
This epic
catapults
Mickey.
me into a world
Into
of some
cheating on Courtney.
fire bitches and cheating on Courtney,
And climbing Mount
Then I
Everest
might do it.
twice.
And dying there in your fursuit. So
I
In
just
my
realized.
fursuit.
I just realized we went full circle back to that episode with furries and penises on Mount Everest.
We did.
Kind of wild.
yeah.
Shout out to
We
that.
probably talked
Courtney-
about video games that
Courtney,
day
put
too.
that entire episode right here.
Yeah.
Stoops asks, what's something that keeps you going, like a motto or ideal you have to remind yourself of going forward even when shit's fucked? I hope this hasn't been asked before. Shout out Stoops.
It is not.
Shout
Shout
out.
out
that's a nice
Stoops.
question. That's a nice
That is
little
a nice
question. I like
question.
that.
I've got a few, but I guess the one I think of a lot is like if say you don't do something, you then can't get mad at the fact you didn't do it. I know that sounds really obvious, but like, you know, if you don't put your neck out there and you don't work on something, you can't then get mad when it's like you see someone else do it and succeed, I suppose.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I
well,
like
just
that.
do it then. Like if you,
Yeah.
you know, you can either do the thing, and then you're allowed to like criticize or get involved with that discussion, or you don't, and you don't. So
What Kudos is saying is if you don't vote, then you can't have an opinion on politics.
Yeah, so I don't want to hear any more of that shit.
No, that's a good quote, though. I
I
like
don't.
Yeah. I do.
That's
It's
a
an
good
awful
ideal.
quote. I butchered it. No, as soon
No,
as
I
I
think
started
that's-
saying
No, I
it, I was
don't
like,
think
this is
so.
No, I
stupid.
actually really like that.
It's
That's
kind
like
of
a,
it's kind of harkening back to like you don't want to look back in like 20 years and be like, oh, I wish I did that. It's just like
Yeah,
take the risk
yeah,
now.
that's
if you
pretty much
fucking-
the
At least
idea.
you did it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
You
Like,
tried.
yeah, I'd
Make a
rather have
YouTube
done
video
something and
about why-
fucked up than not, because
Yeah.
then you're just old and bitter and did nothing.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah.
a YouTube video titled "The Art of Music in Video Games." And you'll be
And
one
see how
of
it does.
10,000 people who made that video.
Courtney,
Yeah,
put the
it
lo-fi
posted
to
music
r/.
right here.
And post that to r/YouTubers. My quote has always been. My quote has always been. It's all good.
I know my
Things
rights.
will work out.
Oh, yeah.
I know my rights. I am an American citizen. All right. I may not look like it, but I am. That's always been my
Oh
quote.
God.
No, my quote has always been, and this is like actually no meme. I've always thought whenever shit is like, because listen, I've had some pretty low lows in my life, right? Like, you know, I've been homeless, moved out when I was 15. Not to like, you know, go on a tangent, but I've had some pretty
And-
low lows in my life.
Apple bottom
And-
jeans also.
And the boots
Yeah.
with the fur. That's what I'm saying.
You got
And
low.
Exactly.
No
And
matter how low you go,
I've
there
been
will
floppy
be apple bottom
bobbing
jeans and boots with the
In the
furs.
goopy goblin.
and the Goopy Goblin in the Maybach jeans. Let me tell you.
Sweatpants.
But no, my motto in my head has always been like, things will work out if I just let them. And things have always been worked out. Here I am on Beef Boys. So
That's
I say
Here he is on Beef Boys.
Now let me interpret Doplex's quote for him. Also, Doplex is saying, "Never do anything. God has your life slated for you. It will all work out."
Yeah,
I didn't know you were a Calvinist, Doplex.
Hey, listen. I mean,
I didn't know you like Calvin and Hobbes.
That's a
I'm a
joke
big
for
Leafy is Here
the
fan.
Christians out there.
Fucking motherfucker's name.
Can't believe that
Calvin,
motherfucker's
man.
name's
You
Calvin,
bullying
bro.
people. His name's Calvin, bro.
Calvin.
What a fucking loser.
How you
Andrew-
young and her name's Calvin?
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Come on, bro.
You fucking tiger ass motherfucker. So there's a scene in a little known film called Lord of the Rings where Frodo is in Moria with Gandalf, and he's like, Frodo be like, why did the ring come to me? Why do I have to do this? And Gandalf says, he says some more shit about like fucking all this shit sucks, man. What the hell? Joe Biden's the president of the world going to shit.
Joe Biden.
And Gandalf's
not
like,
because we all voted Trump, so just as
Yeah.
No, I voted
Gary Johnson.
A freaking dragon.
Yeah, I voted Bernie Johnson.
Joe Biden's president, I'm finding a
So
freaking
I'm
dragon.
not a place I would call Earth.
I
Joe
wouldn't
Biden's
exactly
the
call it
president. Trans athletes in sports. And a
I'm
freezing
talking to a
dragon.
freaking ring.
But so after Frodo be throwing his pity party, Gandalf be like, he'd be saying, I can't think of the exact words that Frodo says, but Gandalf says, "So do all who see such times, but that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that's given to us." Which is
It's one of my favorite quotes ever.
It's a good
I
ass
always
quote.
get caught up in like, what other people think, what's going on here, who's, government, economy, and it's just
Spaghetti.
like it's good to care about that, but at the end of the day, all you can do, and if everyone lived this way, all you can do to make a real change in the world is not tweet at someone, is not cancel someone, is not fucking, whatever. It's you be a good person and lead a good life and let that butter fly onto other people, and through that we would be a much better place than if we all just tried to point our fingers at whoever we don't like. If you do what you think is good and you let that butter fly into other people's lives and they can take that positive energy, then life would be lit.
I agree.
This.
Yeah, no, it's one of my
couldn't
favorite
agree
moments
more.
as well.
Yeah, but James said it.
He did say it.
James said it.
No, I thought you were gonna hit that, so I was like, bro, no.
I gotta get in it quick.
I also really like "Not all those who wander are lost" because I feel like that's a sentence that, especially for people that be making videos that fucking flop and fucking, like my video today ate shit. But at this point, I don't care. I'm wandering. I'm figuring out. I'm 24. And I'm not lost.
You're
I'm just
young, you're living,
Facts.
you're doing good.
And we're on beat.
I wish I was where you were when I was 24. I'll put it that way. Because when I was 24, I was like, $40,000 student debt? Okay. Can I, one extra quote, one that I actually probably should have said instead of my dumbass one before. It's one from Socrates, I think his name is.
I know him.
It took me like half a second. I was like,
Persian dictator.
I have it here because I don't want to get it wrong. It says, if I am the wisest man alive, it is for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. I feel like that is a good way to keep yourself humble.
Humility.
Realizing that you're a fucking idiot. You've always got more to learn. You don't know the best on anything. And you should always strive to learn more, but with the understanding that you will never know anything. Is something kind of comforting about that, I guess.
A quote that I don't know where this quote's from, but my dad and my grandpa have always said it, and they don't attribute it to anyone. I don't think they came up with it though, but my dad specifically always says, "Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear." So even people like right in front of you can deceive you, but like anything you hear from like a third party that like if you weren't there to see it, and even if you were, it's probably bullshit, but if you just hear it from somebody, it's like 99% like not at least worth your time to ingest and like care about.
I like that.
I like that.
Everyone's
a good
lying.
one. Yeah,
especially us four. In fact,
yeah,
you should
always
be
lying.
muting us and just watching the podcast.
No.
Yeah.
We're right.
And half of it only.
Yeah, I only watch half of it.
Yeah, only watch half.
imagine it.
You can decide front half, back half, whatever, but believe it.
Your dad's
We give
watching
all
YouTube
your whole
videos
heart.
muted and only the first 50%.
I
I
feel
feel
like
is lies.
It'd be really funny if we gave all these quotes and then we're like, but also none of that applies to us. We're geniuses.
We're
You
cool.
can live your life by our. We're gonna come out with a Bible too, and you're gonna live by it.
Electric Boogaloo.
That's what Joe Rogan would do. Andrew, I think Andrew, we haven't got your quote.
Yeah, Andrew, what's your quote?
Oh,
Andrew-
as far as things to live by or things that have helped me get through low times, I just really pushing forward in my personal life and creative. It's I think what brought me here. It's probably for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
Okay,
that
all
whoso
right.